Okay, now comes what I call my favorite part. But before, my good friend Claire is here, and she wants to tell us about a couple of really cool programs that are going on. Claire, come on.
Am I good? All good?
You're good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Nima.
You're welcome.
Good morning. My name is Claire. I'm the founder and managing director of IgniteXL. We are a Silicon Valley-based accelerator and seed fund focusing on international companies. I have two exciting startup programs that you might be interested. One is called K-Startup Grand Challenge. It's supported by South Korean government. As you know, Korea has one of the fastest broadband infrastructure. They have built an awesome startup ecosystem and infrastructure in Pangyo, which is about 15 minutes from subway from Seoul. And they are inviting startups from all around the world to come live, work, and build your companies. If Asia is your market strategy, this would be a great program for you to apply. They will pay for 3.5 months of living expense. They're going to be selecting 80 companies from all around the world. The application deadline is, whoops, have I been talking on a wrong slide?
No.
There you go. June 14th. More information can be found on kstartupgc.org. I will leave more information flyers out at the registration desk. Second one, yes. So we, IgniteXL and Draper University, are joining forces to offer Silicon Valley's very first beauty tech acceleration program. We're targeting beauty tech startups in the beauty, fashion, health, and well-being, and also enabling technology such as AI, blockchain, e-commerce, pretty much all the enabling technology for beauty industry. And the application deadline is May 31st. So if you know startups who's working in this space, please share the information. What else? Again, I will leave information flyer out in the registration desk and hope many of you will apply. Thank you so much again. Good luck to the startups pitching next, and
Awesome.
enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Hi, Claire. Okay, so the startup pitch competition. Every year we go through a couple hundred applications and we pick 5 or 6 companies. Last year's team split just got acquired by Bosch. The year before, team raised $8 million. Last year's runner-up actually raised $2.5 million. Lily, it's a fashion app. So what we try to focus on is really early stage startups that are building something cool, that are on the path to the next stage. And no one's better than that than, I think, Founder Institute, where I worked with Adeo. Adeo, come on down. You ready? So Adeo is the founder and CEO of Founder Institute, and I worked for him many moons ago. And when I first met him, the very first lunch we had together, he said, hey, I want to build a legacy of 1,000 companies a year. And I was sold, and I basically joined, I think, the next day. And then he fired me, which is okay. Which is okay. But he's there. I mean, I think you're almost there. Are you at 1,000 a year yet?
No, we're doing almost 2,000.
2,000.
Do you
Oh.
have a mic? Should I get up a mic?
Oh, you didn't get mic'd up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll come back with
Yeah, he's coming. So 2,000 startups a year. I think 200 cities worldwide. He just showed us his meetup group on 500,000 members, close to 500,000 members. So the Founder Institute is a program. You don't get funding. You can go in without an idea, and you're just supported by mentors and structure that help you get to that next stage, which is, again, pre-seed, pre-idea even. So our startups, we picked 6 of them. They get 2 minutes to pitch, and then 5 or 6 minutes of questions and answers from Adeo. And then afterwards, you guys get to vote. The top 3 teams that you voted on will then pitch the investor panel in the afternoon. So, are you ready, Adeo? Can't see you. Adeo, come on down. Elysia. Elysia is our first startup.
Hey, everybody.
Seven years ago, I was living a double life. In one life, I was getting a PhD in computer science, and in my other life, I was studying to be an opera singer and actually became a semi-professional singer. In my musician life, I desperately wanted to create original songs, but I didn't know how to. So I had to learn a whole bunch of stuff. I had to learn how to produce, to write poetry. I took piano lessons, improvisation. And with all this effort, things weren't going so well. I actually, after years of effort, after about 3 years, I was still nowhere near creating even a single original song. But my computer science life was going great. I did a postdoc at Caltech, became a computer science professor. And then one day, when I was just about to give up on my music dreams, I realized that my computer science expertise, particularly in machine learning, can make my music dreams come true. And that is how Elysia was born. So Elysia helps you create original lyrics, and if you give it lyrics, it writes original vocal melodies for your lyrics. Quickly, the media got wind of it, and then people started getting in touch with me, asking if they could use Elysia, producers, singers, and just people who wanted to write songs but didn't know how to, just like me. You see, while current tech already supports creation of background tracks with stuff like, for example, GarageBand, people want to express themselves through complete songs, which often include lyrics as well. And the market is huge, as you can see here, both for background music creation and there's a market also around song covers. And Elysia combines them both so that people could, for the first time, create original songs. All right, we currently have 700 people on our beta at tryelysia.com, and we're working towards a broad commercial application that will make it so that anybody could write original songs in under 5 minutes. And here's a very quick example. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me okay? All right, great. Interesting narrative pitch. So you took a narrative pitch structure, but and you left a lot of questions to be answered. So I'll start with a basic one. So I got that you upload lyrics and then or music, is that right? And then it makes a song, and then you played that song, and it did not sound like I uploaded any music or lyrics. That sounded way too good for what an unprofessional person could output. So maybe if you could walk me through like step by step what happens. So like I write a lyric, I sing it, I upload it, or what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to explain. So there are two things. There's what we have right now, and then there's the broad commercial application that we plan to create over the next few months. So I'll start with what we have now. It all started with the idea of typing in lyrics, and then the system giving you ways to sing it. So for example, if we type in, "It is so fun to be here today," it'll give you different options, like, "It's so fun to be here today," or many other options, and you pick.
Does it sing it for you?
It doesn't sing it for you. That would require incorporating. The tech for this exists. We just haven't incorporated it. It does a composition of the vocal melodies.
Oh, so it shows you sort of musical notes that you follow?
Exactly,
Okay.
and it plays it for you. That's exactly it, yeah. And right now it does more. Right now you can add drum tracks very, very easily, literally at a click of a button, and you can also add chords just by clicking a button. So you actually, within minutes, you end up with a complete song. But it's still collaborative. You make choices. It's on purpose collaborative. We're trying to make things more accessible, not replace anybody. And so people still have to make a choice about which melodies they like.
Okay, and you said eventually it's going to sing it for you?
Oh yeah, I think that's a very important addition. That exists. There are Vocaloids out there. They're still not perfect, but they're getting there. That if you give them what to sing, they'll sing it.
Okay. Interesting. All right, so that explains a lot, because I sort of followed it, and then you played that song. I'm like, wait, that's way better than I thought. And I'm like, how did you do that? All right, so that's sort of question number one. And then I have many questions. We probably don't have time, but then I guess second is, it wasn't clear, are you going after B to C, B to B? I mean, how do you who's your target audience, and then secondarily, how do you make money from them?
Okay, excellent. That's a very good question, and that took us a couple of months to really figure out. So what we decided to do is go after essentially the teenage market, people who have a lot of time and who enjoy music, who enjoy making music, really like co-creative systems. And the idea is to create something that has a pretty heavy freemium so that people could use it for free and get a lot out of it. And then to have a paid tier where you get even more opportunities. And another thing that we want to integrate for making money is what games do so successfully, which is to have a lot of microtransactions for the people who are really passionate.
Okay, but like, what do you mean by micro? How are we doing on time? I see the timer walk out. What do you mean by microtransactions?
Okay, so
do I buy little snippets of music, or do people tip me like on Twitch, or like what is the?
So two main things. So the way the app is going to work is you're going to first pick a background track, then there's going to be a module to help you make lyrics, and then vocal melodies. So one of the things that you'll be able to purchase and have more access to are the background tracks. And another thing would be musical styles that Elysia would write in.
Okay, so I'll give you some feedback. Overall, I'd say well done. Let's give her another round of applause. I think you used a narrative pitch format. That's good for everyone out there. There are three kinds of pitch formats: problem, solution, a narrative pitch format that you used, and then you can also do factual. Generally speaking, in yours, when I didn't mind the narrative pitch solution, I might have gone maybe even to problem solution / vision framework, because you got lost in the narrative and took a lot of time. And I don't really understand what the big vision is. So for me, I would have said something along the lines of, I think that the world has many burgeoning musicians that haven't yet had the tools to express themselves well. We're building a platform that can take any teenager, any aspiring musician, and make them create songs like this. You play that, and then you walk us through how it's done, how you see it going forward. And then I wouldn't even talk about the market overall. Right now, a lot of these a lot of the biggest musicians right now have come up from social media, and so convince me that the next Justin Bieber or whomever is going to come through your platform, and what a big amount of, and then I'm bought in. The market size of music is terrible. I mean, it's big-ish, but it's also in massive disarray. And so I would focus on the story of the user becoming really big and how you can join them in the monetization of that. Because I think that was the vision in there. It just wasn't 100% clear. But all right, thank you very much. Let's see the next presenter.
Thanks for the feedback.
Okay, Apollo Robotics. Ready?
Hi, I'm Jake, CEO and founder of Apollo Robotics. We've revolutionized the way that robots 3D map and digitize the world. Every large infrastructure and construction project starts with a survey. But surveying and mapping is costly, it's time-consuming, and it produces tens of gigabytes of dumb data that the data consumer then has to spend a great deal of time analyzing. Here at Apollo, we're compiling together the best high-speed data acquisition sensors into one platform, and pairing that with a cloud data analytics platform to create the seamless autonomous surveying solution. But the end game isn't the drone or the primary sensors, it's our software platform. The survey as a service in the cloud. We're going to provide complete 3D actionable survey data for construction, infrastructure, and mines, but today we're starting with surveyors. Since we started outreach just a few weeks ago, we've received $480,000 in signed letters of intent, ranging from one of the world's largest geospatial companies to some of our local surveyors. Additionally, a Hyperloop company recently reached out about using our system to continuously monitor their infrastructure. We're a team of 3 with backgrounds in software engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering, and we have a team of advisors and investors who have experience in construction and manufacturing. We're currently in the NVIDIA Deep Learning and AI Inception Program, the Verizon Innovation Program, and we're headquartered out of an advanced additive manufacturing facility. So why now? Well, the cost of LiDAR is falling rapidly. New regulations finally allow for commercial drone operations, and we're on the cusp of a $10 trillion wave of global infrastructure spending, in which productivity will be increased by innovations, and the heart of these innovations is digitization.
Traction's excellent, 480,000 in 3 weeks. Those are LOIs, obviously. What is, you know, I would say I got a better sense of the state of the product of the previous presenter and you showed what looked to be like a mock-up of the drone with the LiDAR and the camera and the thermosensor. Do you have a prototype that's flying, or?
Yeah, this is our ongoing prototype right now. So it's flying, has all the same sensors on board. It's about twice the size, and we bootstrap it with off-the-shelf parts.
Sure, it's not the prettiest drone man has ever made. The other one was pretty good looking. So do you make all the, yeah, let's go back to the one you actually have. So do you make, on this one and the one you plan, do you make everything? Or you said this one you use off-the-shelf stuff, but are you eventually gonna, because could you use like a DJI platform or some other platform to carry the equipment on?
No, we couldn't. So we determined there's 5 parts of a completely autonomous survey. There's the LiDAR, there's the camera, there's the thermal camera, there's the drone, and then there's the software platform.
Right.
Our
so
core
you don't
focus-
really care about the drone.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're actually having, we've commissioned an expert engineering firm to help us build the drone.
But why? Have you not found something that can carry how heavy is the payload?
Yeah, so the payload's pretty heavy. It's about 4 pounds. And we surveyed the market, and there's nothing else out there like it. We looked long and hard for one, and there wasn't anything out there. So that's why we commissioned one to get built for us.
Yeah, because you know, it's a catch-22, right? That's not the business you're in. In fact, to be honest, I'm not even sure if you really care about how much is the LiDAR? So my guess, for everyone who doesn't know, LiDAR is a laser-based imaging solution that measures distances, commonly used in space, quite expensive. It's being driven down because Waymo is using it for their self-driving cars. There's some problems with it, doesn't work in rain and stuff like that, but you're not flying a drone in the rain anyway. But how much are they running for a small unit like that right now?
So when we started, they were going at about 8,000, and now they're down to 3,500.
Just how much?
They've gone down from $8,000 to $3,500.
Wow, that's great. So how much do you think this whole thing will cost when?
We're selling it at a price point of $30,000, and we are, and then at a $600 a month subscription for the software.
Okay, and so the 480,000 that you signed up in 3 weeks, is that like 70% hardware, 30%?
That's all just the hardware. That's not including the software.
Okay. Okay, well, let me jump. First of all, it's an interesting, but before I finish with the questions, one last one. The 480K, is that like, what is it, how many customers? And you mentioned one of them was in construction. Are there 3 or 4? Or?
Yeah, so almost all of them are professional land surveyors. One of them is a very large geospatial company. One of them signed for 3 of them, and the others all purchased one. So there's 13 customers and 16 units.
Okay, so the first thing that I would say is you sort of want to get out of the hardware business as fast as possible. So I understand that you've got a big capital-intensive unit here. But if you can bundle that into the cost or have some sort of variable cost that allows you to make it back without having to sell the hardware and maintain the hardware, because I'd almost rather see you charge like $3,000 a month and give the hardware away for free.
That's one of the other business models we're testing too, is doing it over a pure monthly.
And you might even want to, I mean, there's hardware as a service is a much better business than hardware as hardware. And then on top of that, you want to think about how you can stack the value. Because if someone's flying this all day and doing surveys all day and someone flies it once a month, it's not really fair to charge them the same amount, right? So figuring out how you can get more money from the customers that are using it more and then they have greater wear and tear rather than just replacing the drone for another $30,000 because your gross margins on the drone are going to be okay but not great. So if you can turn it into a service, you can make some real money. The other thing I'm wondering about here is like, where does it get? So I think it's a great business. It's needed. You're going to make money. You might make millions of dollars a year. But how does it get big? And I would challenge anyone here, especially at this stage. It's very early. I don't know why you're doing it, and I don't know how this company is going to get really big. I think it's a great business. 3 weeks, 480,000. Hats off to you. That's amazing. You could probably get to a few $1 million a year, but that's not going to make you a happy human being in 5 years' time, because you can have, a team of 20 people working on it, and you're going to maybe feel bored. So, maybe there's another reason you're doing it. I studied surveying and I love surveying, and I'm just going to never stop until I can figure surveying out. Or, here's my thought on how this becomes a really meaningful business to humanity. Now, we are out of time. I see the time's up thing there, but do you want to respond to that quickly?
No, that's good.
All right, well, a good job. I think it's an excellent product there.
Okay, Tim, come on, your turn.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? How's everyone doing? Another beautiful day in Silicon Valley to be thinking about, there we go, thank you, about big disruptions. So I'm Tim Bussig, co-founder and CEO of bPronum, and basically success beyond our four walls. So it's striking that when we're really working with people trying to get stuff done, 75% of the time, that really takes us outside of the organizations that we're in. And it takes us outside of the systems that we would like to support us. In that sense, 95% of collaboration tools really don't help us much, and they take us outside, and we really have to do things still in our head and to get stuff done, and that really limits us into how we drive business. And in some ways, Slack has really gone ahead and has done this really well. People first and easy and inclusive. The CEO of Slack says, Stuart Butterfield, he says that messaging is at the center of business and everything is around it. Well, we disagree with that. We think that business is at the heart of business, and that would tend to be workflow. So then the question really is, how do you do that? How do you bring that together in the sense of, make it easy and inclusive? And we believe it has to be highly visual, and it has to be somewhat game-like. So our secret sauce is having a library of 11 building blocks that can cover up to 90% of all these kinds of interactions. And then it's as easy as picking those building blocks, picking the people, adding a purpose and a timeline, and then you're ready to go to execute that. So just imagine if Slack is now being deployed by IBM, 400,000 employees, with messaging to get stuff done. What would that mean if you could do something like that with workflow? So in that sense, for us, it's really now the focus on the sales and legal audiences where that's most prevalent, and for us to get the product to that stage where we have incredible activation, also customer satisfaction and responsiveness, and that's why we're deep in the private beta doing that. And in that sense, why choose us? In that sense, we have a great team, an incredible product with just really amazing feedback, and it's just immaculate timing for us. Thanks very much.
Okay, I'm going to start with feedback on this one. The pitch could have been structured to get a lot more information out in a much shorter period of time. You talk way too much about Slack. I think everyone, I presume everybody here knows what Slack is, and you're saying we're not like Slack, we're like something else. But let me tell you more about Slack in case you didn't know. It's like, so that was not useful at all. I could have just gone away with it. And the problem is that I don't really know what you do. Now, I know you create workflows and you sell into organizations like Slack does, but there's still a long journey from I can guess what you do and I'd probably be pretty accurate. So let me take some guesses and see if I'm right here. So I am a business manager within a large company, such as Broadcom. And I say, I need some sort of workflow for my sales team to close leads. Okay, am I right so far on your
Very
customer?
good, yes.
Okay, so that's your customer. Now, I then go and use your product, and you said you have these preset modules, and that now I'm just gonna start going into fairy tale land, because after this, I'm getting very speculative. So so now I'm this guy, I'm ready to use the product, and here's another thing, by the way. Almost always at this stage, pitch your business from the perspective of your customer. John, who's a manager at Broadcom, he's got a $1 billion book of business. He's got 3,000 salespeople working on these type of companies, and he doesn't really know the process that they're doing to close the deals. Some do better, some do worse. So he wants to go to some of his best salespeople, take the process that they're using and roll it out across the whole thing. Can't really do it today with modern CRM systems because of this, this, and this. So with my product, here is what he does. Now what does he do?
Well, in that sense, for instance, taking the sales example, sales teams, as a function, of course, they have CRM, let's say Salesforce.
Yeah.
But now it's really to include, let's say there's a legal team, there's a product team, there's a
Okay,
finance
so
team.
you're involving cross-functional
So it's
teams
always
and
these
processes.
examples. Exactly.
All right, well, did anyone know that?
Yes.
No? Wait, did someone say yes? You said yes. Well, I would hope that you would say yes to the knowing your own product. But okay, so I did not know that. Can you go back to a couple slides? Because I guess I could have read into it internal partners and clients. I saw that. But you could just have had that been like legal, accounting, BD, sales, and that would have been very helpful. Okay, so now you're allowing cross-functional units of the business to collaborate. That's a big thing, right? How?
Well, how? So they basically pick up these building blocks, which, for instance, the one
Is
building...
it through email? Do you
No,
integrate
exactly,
with Slack?
it's not. No, it's not. So in that sense, we
What's
want
the
to...
messaging layer if I'm in accounting and I need
Well,
to
basically, you have the visual, and you see, and everyone sees, and they get that.
Yeah, but people don't go to websites.
No, it's not a website. It's an application in that sense. It's a web application.
I didn't even know that either.
Okay.
It's a desktop application?
It is. It's desktop together with mobile. But so it's a combination of
A
both.
web and mobile app, or a desktop and mobile app.
Yes.
Okay. Did anyone else know that? Okay. So I thought I was listening pretty good. So sometimes, the drugs I did as a child come back and haunt me. Which I don't do anymore. Don't do drugs. All right, back, unless they're good, in which case come see me. So it's a desktop and mobile app, and so there'll be some sort of alert system on your phone?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And how do you charge?
It's basically it's a free sign up, and then it's kind of similar to Slack, even though I shouldn't mention them. And then it's a
okay. If you
it's a
want
monthly
to...
subscription, but it's very much their go-to-market as well, which, if you know enterprise, is very different to what was there. We're not selling to the IT department or line of business. We're actually going to the end users to actually sign up themselves.
You're
and then
going to
monthly
do the
subscription.
classic land and expand,
Yes.
get the users to use it.
And then it's very similar because you're working together with teams. You invite people. And
So, okay, that would have been good to know as well. So another thing, when you have a product like this, obviously speaking from the perspective of the customer, knowing what it actually does, all of which now are much more interesting, and then understanding your go-to-market strategy, which is a land and expand strategy. So very quickly, let's say you had Broadcom and some other companies up there. What might you expect a Broadcom annual deal to be worth?
Yeah, in that sense, we only look at $120 per person, per user, per year.
Even if it's like an accounting user and the...
initially, and then we are looking at SMB and large companies deals separately. But first, we're targeting teams, and in that sense, the deal
So if
size
it's
might
like
be quite small.
if I have accounting, finance, legal,
Right.
and blah, 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 look at a deal, I get licenses for them all?
Yeah, for those people, yeah. But then, of course, and we grow in the company, and then for them, it becomes a compliance issue to then also have.
We're out of time, but one last piece of feedback. Sorry to cut you off there.
Please.
You might want to do a Slack-type model where, like, you have these built-in modules, so you can have a lower price per user, let's say $40, $50, $60. But if it's you're doing the legal module, it's $80, and if you get the finance module, it's extra. So you want to have some sort of upsell capability, possibly by the module and division that's using it. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, next up we have Hashcut.
Hi. Hi, I'm Murli and the co-founder of Hashcut, and what we do is use AI to automate pulling game highlights out of video games. So take the life of a, Take the life of a typical video game streamer right now. Let's say Joanna here. She starts streaming on Twitch or YouTube at 8 o'clock in the morning, and she'll go for 8 hours down to 3 o'clock and play multiple games. And then after she's done with that streaming day, she then will spend about 3 hours editing that video, so using Final Cut or whatever software that she'd like to use. And only after all of that time can she start to actually engage with her fans. She can post those clips up and start to show her highlights from the day. So what we want to do is actually eliminate that editing process and start so that as soon as she's done with her live stream, the highlights will actually be automatically pulled. So with Hashcut, we can pull the best kills and the best plays out of your game and make highlights, and we can make hundreds of highlights out of that instead of just the 1 or 2 that you may be able to do by yourself. And this applies also for esports leagues, where after the games, they have to have a team of professional editors, and it takes a while to get those highlights out. Whereas using our system, they can pull those and put them out right away when it's much more valuable than, say, delaying it for 3 or 4 hours while they're editing it. So we have a preliminary version we launched in December, and which allows fans to create their own custom highlights, not just out of sports, but also any type of video in YouTube and Twitch. And we've seen a lot of traction so far. We've gotten 160,000 total users and about 10,000 Hashcut creators themselves, and we're experiencing about 100% month-over-month growth on our website. We've been bootstrapped to date, and we're looking for seed funding to be able to develop our AI for multiple games and other industries as well. And if you're interested, or if you are a streamer yourself or part of an esports league, please get in touch with us at founders@hashcut.com. Thank you.
Okay, so that was much, I mean, I think we all know what he does. Anyone not know what he does? So that was very clear, I know. But how many people know the video gaming how many people know anything about this market? Raise your hand. Okay, so this is an issue. It's fucking crazy. Crazy. Okay, there's a kid named Ninja, or whatever, his screen name is Ninja. How much does Ninja make a month?
I believe it was, is it $500,000 a month?
Yeah,
or
$500,000 a month
Yeah.
playing Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
And Drake, started competing with him, and, he's a kid, and he makes $500,000 a month and he's, you know how he makes it? Streaming, like that. So, but that was missing from, so I don't think people realize how, this is like a career, hopefully for my son, very soon. He loves Fortnite. I'll be like, just get a little better.
Right.
Use Hashcut.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, the total number of views just for gaming on YouTube alone is more than all of HBO, Netflix, and Spotify combined. So the amount of actual
it's nuts.
that people watch
Nutty
is
nuts.
huge.
And YouTube, well, so Okay. Okay. So no one really knew how nutty nut it was. This is nutty nuts. Like, you have no idea. When you start peeling the layers of the onion, like, my friend started an esports league for Overwatch, and you don't even want to know. They invested like 9 figures of cash to make this esports league.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they're
I
doing
don't even
really
think
well.
the game makes that much money a year. It's like,
They're doing
anyway,
really well.
It's nutty nuts. Now, so you've got this, there's some issues within that market that you didn't surface very well. For example, kinda YouTube is in trouble because Twitch is stealing all the, so basically YouTube, you do advertising, and a guy like Ninja was making $50,000 a month on YouTube, and then Twitch started tipping, where people tip you, and he makes $500,000 a month on Twitch. And so what's ending up happening is people are migrating 100% off YouTube because of what you just said. They have to spend a lot of time, make the stupid clips, and then they don't make any money compared to Twitch, right? So they're not even doing it anymore. So that's a...
Right. And what we do...
So talk to me about that, because I see that as a fundamental... You still want your highlight reel, right? But, you know, and maybe... Anyway, answer where I'm going.
Sure. So you're right that Twitch's strength is in the live streaming. A lot of streamers will live stream on Twitch, and then they'll post their highlights on YouTube. So YouTube kind of dominates the recorded video market. And Twitch dominates the streaming market. Although YouTube actually has a pretty high streaming number of people who live stream on there as well. And our thing is we're actually platform agnostic. So the way we created our backend is we don't actually store any of the video. We don't do anything.
Well, that's expensive.
So yeah, it's expensive, and this way we can. So
your platform, you'll put it wherever the kid wants.
Right, exactly.
Or
So
adults.
we have
Unlikely though. Hopefully my kids. The 160,000 users are they all content creators? These are gamers, or are they some spectators as well?
Right. This is all users, so that includes fans who are watching these hash cuts and the people who are creating them. And right now,
So their fans are routed through Hashcut to see them on YouTube?
So the way it works is when you make a hash cut, you actually don't download a video. You'll get a URL link, and that you can share it on Twitter and Facebook, anywhere. And when they play it, we have integration with, say, Twitter and places where it plays right there like a native clip, so they don't necessarily have to come back to the hash cut site. But what's nice
But you're counting the user.
Right, we count the user, and actually the original creator still gets the view count because we're embedding the video underneath.
Which they care about.
Right, so they
exactly.
care about those numbers, so we make sure they still get those numbers.
So those really are not your real users. How many users do you really have?
So we get about, we're getting about 6,000 hash cuts made a month at this point. So I'd say that's.
So is that like 2,000 users, 1,000 users?
That's about, I'd say, but that's about 3,000 users on average. They're making.
Don't do that. That's cheesy. Just cut to the, I get it, but or at least differentiate between the people that are actually using it. Because you say users there, that's not a user, that's a viewer, right? And including viewers, I guess you say, but like, it's not like 50-50, it's like 2 to 158,000, right? So like.
Yeah, it's about 10%. Yeah, about 10% of our users make hash cuts, right?
Okay, so it's, all right. What I would say though, I mean, look, okay, so it's hard, okay. I think it's an interesting idea. It's hard for me to give you a true evaluation because the market's so crazy. So what I would have liked to see is more sort of like, within this crazy market, here is our strategy, right? So for example, time is up, but how can you get the 158,000 people that view the videos to actually make a video, right? And then how do you monetize off of all that within the changing dynamic of both the video game industry and the video game monetization industry, which is also kind of crazy. Because the people that make the games, they're that don't make nearly as much money in some cases as the people that are like YouTube and monetizing off the games, and in some cases not as much as the player. I mean, it's crazy. So you have to sort the market out and explain to me, within this crazy market, this is how we're going to dominate and make lots of money. But your traction is phenomenal, so I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're a smart guy, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, up next, Inform You.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lang Mei. I'm co-founder and CEO at InformU. InformU is an AI-driven smart contract platform that helps you reduce your insurance payment and automate the claim process. In the spring of 2015, I was studying abroad in Paris. Sounds a super romantic city, right? One day I was in a cafe, enjoying delicious coffee. The warm coffee flowed over my tongue. I sank softly into the chair without care in the world. But suddenly, my heart dropped into my stomach. My passport and laptop were gone. And I experienced the most awful moment, just like this girl. This is why we create InformU. InformU is a predictive loss prevention device. It prevents your belongings from being forgotten or stolen in the first place, giving you peace of mind. If your belongings did get stolen, it automatically triggers the smart contract. We'll reimburse you the total value of your belonging gets stolen through our token. If you never lost your belongings or failed a claim, we'll give you 1 token for free each month to incentivize your good behavior. And we have amazing traction. In under 60 days, we made $200,000 in revenue. We have over 2,000 customers in 60+ countries. We also have amazing media coverage, including BBC, Mashable, and Huffington Post. And with your support, what happened to me in Paris will never happen to any of you. And do you guys know what InformU means? InformU means money. So my friends, let's make money together. Thank you, guys.
Okay. I'd like to make money with you too. With that said, I don't fully get it. Am I not? I mean, I think I'm pretty smart. Maybe today I must feel. Did everyone not get it as well? Am I alone up here? So, is there a? Yeah, exactly. That's my first. Is there a tile? Is there some? There's a device?
Yes. So how our
You have it?
product work is you put the sticker.
Okay. Because you showed it, but all right, you could. All right. So there's a little. If you can't see it, it's about smaller than the thickness of a pencil.
Yeah.
And about the
So
size
how
of a
that
small
works
eraser.
is you put on your belongings like passport, suitcase. We prevent you from being forgotten or stolen, rather than like PAL or
okay.
GPS try to find where they are.
Okay. All right. So that was not 100% clear. That picture sort of made it, but I might have actually. You could have used like a step-by-step thing, like put thing on passport, right? When passport moves away, notification comes on phone. Like if passport's stolen, like we reimburse you. Okay, so that just wasn't clear. Now that I got it, and then you're doing it. You have a lot of things going on here. So you're doing a token sale for. I presume you're doing an ICO?
We are. So if any SEO expertise, please come over talk to me. I would love to learn from you.
Where are you based?
We're mostly based in Boulder, Colorado. Hopefully move to Bay Area.
You know it's not very legal to do an ICO in America.
Yeah, we're going to do in Singapore, I guess.
Now, you mentioned you're from China, so are you a U.S. citizen?
I'm not U.S. citizen.
That's good. For you,
Good for me.
look, I mean, okay, so, all right. I fear that this line of questioning will lead everyone to a dark corridor of confusion, but I'm gonna walk through the tunnel and hopefully there'll be light on the other end. Because like when you start talking about ICOs with founders, one of two things happens. A squirrel comes on stage and starts dancing around and you have no idea what the fuck just happened. Or sometimes you can kind of understand what they're talking about. So we're gonna hope for the latter, the no squirrel path. So you're going to sell tokens that are like insurance tokens?
Their token have three main usage. First, the token used for
I'm
paying
worried
the
about the squirrel here.
I'm answering your direct question. What's the usage of token?
Good. Well,
The usage token is paying insurance, lower premium. Second, the token can be used to also trade exchange.
right, but they're an insurance token.
Think about we're like Square. So what happens, we
You're
are
like
make
what?
Square.
Oh, Square, okay.
Yeah, we make percentage of the insurance. We don't do insurance.
So someone else underwrites the insurance using your token?
We have two ways. One is the insurance company do the underwriting. Second is we use smart contract. Directly, the contract itself is a insurance.
But in order to get started, wouldn't you want to be your own insurer?
The risk is really high in US to get the insurance license in different states take years. So we
Right.
don't want to take this route.
But you're not really insurance if you're doing devices, right? You're basically like some sort of warranty or something of that nature. I mean, so they're insurance, classic insurance like car insurance, home insurance, et cetera, life insurance, health insurance, is my favorite. And then there's things that are like almost like warranties on products, right? So if you're talking about physical products, I think you could probably get away. I don't know the exact insurance regulations, but you can probably couch it as not being a classic insurance and self-insure yourself.
That's very correct. It's not a classic insurance. It's a type of thing you buy in case something happened, which doesn't matter what the definition insurance.
Yeah, I'd look into that because I think, so it's an insurance token, and in theory, you're going to issue it out, and then there are going to be multiple parties. And that wasn't really discussed in there. And so you're going to have the person who pays for it, the insurance company that underwrites the policy, which may in fact be you, and then who is the third party you mentioned?
So there's multiple party. Is user who owns this object.
Right.
They pay about $3 per month for laptop, for MacBook, $4 for phone, your iPhone 10.
But that includes the insurance from the third party, right?
So third-party insurance, they underwriting, and they have a reinsurance to cover in case things goes up. So there are actually multiple party beyond just third party. There's probably 4 party involved at any given moment.
And who any other people with their hand? And so there's reinsurance, so there's insurance, reinsurance. Yeah. Any other parties with their hand in the?
Us. So every single premium
obviously.
you pay, 20% is us, 40% going to reinsurance, and the rest of 40% going to insurance and a claim.
Have you established those insurance relationships?
Not yet.
I know we're running out of time, so here's what I would say. That too would have been, you could have very easily diagrammed, so a nice flow of the product, like stick it on, and then you pay us a fee, and here's how the fee gets broken down, and here's what happened. And you could have just explained it really like with some diagrams a little better. Instead, you talked about the whole Paris story. And like we've all, I mean, I don't know, hopefully not everybody here, but pretty much everyone's had something stolen or lost something, right? So, you spent a good minute, because I was watching the time, talking about that story, and it would have been much more useful just to see how the product worked and how this ICO token issuance was going to go. And I just super caution you on an ICO right now, being headquartered in Denver, a little bit dangerous with the SEC, at least for the time being, unless you really follow accredited investor laws. All right, thank you very much.
All right, our last team, sports fiction. Sergey. Sergey gets extra bonus points for the jersey.
Woo! Hello, everyone. My name is Sergey Shevtsov. For 25 years, I've been a fan of the German national soccer team. When they won the World Cup 4 years ago, when they won the World Cup 4 years ago, it was an unbelievable, amazing feeling that I will never forget. Unfortunately, a large majority of soccer fans won't experience such happiness this year because only one out of so many teams can win a championship. So we founded Sport Fiction to create alternate reality that entertains sports fans. In a way, like Star Trek entertains science buffs or Game of Thrones entertains history buffs. Some described us as the Onion for sports fans. A sports writer from USA Today said that we are the real fantasy sports. So how does this work? Last year, the United States failed to qualify for the World Cup. About 8 million devastated American fans followed the game, this crucial game against Trinidad and Tobago, using the Gamecast. So it's an online widget that updates every minute with statistical information about the game and also features live commentary by a sports writer. Earlier this month, we deployed our own basic version of the Gamecast, fed simulated data into it, and generated, using computer algorithms, live commentary. Our basic version attracted 20,000 soccer fans and encouraged us to go bigger. So next month, when the real World Cup takes place, on our website, we will stage the alternate World Cup featuring Team USA instead of Panama. And we will have all the action that soccer fans expect, such as preview articles, post-game analysis, photos. The only thing we cannot do is video yet. Our goal is to reach about 100,000 soccer fans. So who are we? I'm Sergey Shevtsov, an AI developer and sports writer. My co-founder is Samir Kanvar, who is a social marketing guru and has experience with sports management. And we are, most importantly, soccer fans. Thank you.
Sorry, I was coughing.
No problem.
So you're fake news for sports?
Yes. Before fake news became a very bad term, it used to be.
You're actively, actually, like, you're saying, like, you know, fake news, yeah, we all know it exists, so why don't I just make, like, a fake news company, like, flat out? Like,
yep.
who do you want to win the election? I don't know, like, anyone but Trump. Great. like,
if we are entertaining, that's the point.
Your president is no longer Trump. It's like, whatever, whoever you want. I don't know, like, Dilbert. Dilbert for president. Dilbert's president. What did Dilbert do today? Okay. I almost don't know if I have questions, because...
It's a unique idea, I agree.
I mean, let's start with morality. You know,
we are not hurting anybody.
Do you think that this is, like, good for the moral condition of humanity?
As long as it's confined to entertainment and fiction and sports.
Well, it's not confined to entertainment. We know that in the real world, right? So okay, so you did lead with the Onion, so I appreciate that.
Yes, before fake news became such a bad term, people loved the Onion. What happened? Well, Trump happened, obviously, but...
No, it didn't happen. My news feed says, you know, Obama got elected for a third term, because that's what I wanted. Yeah. So, and there's no problems in the world. North Korea's peaceful. In fact, I could go there for a vacation, but it's actually Panama. Why do these North Koreans look like South Americans? So okay. So you're saying, like, look, well, I'm just going to take the fake news thing and apply it straight to entertainment, and maybe, but are you couching it? I mean, is it funny? Like
It's
let me
fun.
take a
Funny,
Is it
yes.
designed to be like? So let's say people use it, right? Are they going there for like ha entertainment, or do you think this is something that they're actually like seriously like, I need to be deluded, like that Trump is not my president, or like Germany
Yeah,
didn't
so
lose the World
majority
Cup,
will be-
so I'm going to go.
Very good question. Obviously, majority will be hopefully the former, but the money will be made through those people who need this, who don't just.
Here's
read
what
it,
I
but
would
really
say
need it.
to you as a friend. You know, if you can make it something funny and that is engaging, right, with funny fan commentary, and make it more like a humor site, less like a delusional reality site, I think that then you actually may have something interesting there, because people do need to laugh more at the world because it's kind of comical. If it looked a little bit way too serious for me, and that really got me concerned, because then you're leading in the world of delusion and morality issues, which I would stray away from. But all right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you heard Adeo's feedback, but ultimately you guys get to pick who advances to the second round. So we have the instructions up. No, not working.
I saw them a minute ago.
Oh, okay.
Actually, to be honest, for that level of that stage of companies, they were pretty good on the whole.
Yeah.
They pitched very well. Let's just give a big round of applause for all of them. Well done, guys.
All right, so grab your phone, go to menti.com, enter the code.
I am going to vote.
There is no Wi-Fi. It's broken. It's dead zone? All right,
I have it, if it's any consolation. T-Mobile.
good old T-Mobile. Okay, we'll get there in a second. 1 second. Can you change the slide? So the order was Elysia, Apollo Robotics, Bigperum, Hashcut, Inform You, and Sports Fiction.
My vote is in.
My vote is in. Top 3 advance.
Well, that's kind of tight. Not really. Though I have seen things change, so if you have a favorite, get your friends to vote, or just click reload, because you can vote more than once.
No, you can't. We actually changed. You cannot vote more than once.
I mean, or not.
What do we do if we have a tie? We haven't had a tie before.
Okay, well, you have 2 tied for third right now.
Yeah, I know. We'll flip a coin.
Can I change my vote?
You have 2 phones, don't you?
Uh-oh. Oh, well. Guys, vote now! It's a dead heat.
Is that it? Did everybody vote? Okay.
Your vote actually counts, unlike in American democracy.
All right. So we've got our 3 finalists, Elysia, Hashcut, and was it Robotics? I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apollo Robotics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is lunchtime. Adele, thank you very much.